So today we're gonna share to you our story, like how we met and how it started. So
Right. So a few years back, I went to a friend of mine's wedding, and his younger brother, who I hadn't seen in a while, we started chatting, and he mentioned he'd married a Filipina, and I jokingly asked if his wife had any friends that maybe I could date.
so it was just all a joke.
It was kind of a joke, but it led to getting Eve's number, and we started chatting, and eventually we started video chatting and getting a little more intimate with our calls and getting to know each other better.
Yeah, so actually that guy that he's talking is Corey, named Corey, and then the wife of Corey is Joy. So Joy is my grade 6 classmate way back when we were in the Philippines. And then actually when she posted about like a status on Facebook, like she's like in a relationship with then Corey. So I was like, so I found out on Facebook, and then I was like, oh, she got a foreigner husband. He's so handsome. So I was like, so of course I commented. So I was like, congratulations. And then that's when Joy and I started talking like on Messenger. And then I congratulated her. And then talking about our life update. And then that's when it started that she found out that I am also like interested in finding a foreigner because I'm done with Filipino that time. Yeah, so that's why Joy knew that I am also looking for a foreigner. Sana all. Yeah, so when I guess you got my number first, because I guess that's when Joy messaged me, and then she asked me if is it okay if they will give my number to Logan. So yeah, so they gave the number, and then she kept on messaging me asking if did he message you, and I was like not yet. So I was like, oh, maybe he's not interested to me when I don't know. I guess it took you like I guess the next day when you messaged me after you got my number.
Yeah.
So I was expecting that. I was like, okay, so maybe he saw my picture and then he's not interested.
Yeah, it was a 12-hour time zone difference.
Yeah.
So trying to find times to always talk, and it was usually her being up late in the night talking to me. But eventually I decided after a couple weeks talking that I was going to book a ticket to the Philippines, and I wanted to see her in person. So I ended up landing there on November 11th, which is Remembrance Day here in Canada. And that'll definitely be a day I'll never forget, was landing in the Philippines to see Eve for the first time.
Yeah, so I was not really from like I was not born in Cebu, but during that time when we started talking, I was in Cebu taking no, I mean I was reviewing for the board exam. That's why I asked Logan if he can like go to Cebu and not to where my hometown, because I was in Cebu during that time. So right after Logan got here, but we have to talk to them like how we became like I don't know, became official like so in the Philippines, I don't know, like we're not used to like if people wants you to be their girlfriend or their boyfriend, then the guy will like, will you be my girlfriend, like that will be like the statement or whatever.
Yeah.
But then since Logan and I started talking on phone, and then and then he's from Canada, I'm from the Philippines, I wasn't sure when he first mentioned the word when you told me I love you the first time. So I thought in the Philippines it's just like normal when a guy told you I love you. So that time when you told me I love you, I was like, okay, so he loves me. But I didn't know that it is really the meaning of like, will you be my girlfriend? So when he told me that I love you, I was like, okay, that's when we're dating.
Official.
Official. Yeah, so back to when Logan got
Landed in Cebu.
Cebu, like
Yeah.
Remembrance Day here in Canada, November 11. We then went to Bohol.
Took a ferry from Cebu City over to Bohol, and spent 2 weeks in Bohol, and it was a great time. Visited Chocolate Hills and
Caves.
spent most of our time on the little motorbike scooter.
Exploring, yeah. Then we found like, we didn't really like plan ahead where to go. We just like, okay, we just go anywhere. Then we have to look if like there's falls or whatever, because they have lots of falls also there. And what else did we do there? Like beaches, of course.
Went to the adventure park and
Yeah, the
Remember that?
Now Adventure Park. And yeah, of course, beaches. They have really beautiful beaches there. And then after that, yeah, after 2 weeks of staying in Bohol, of course, that's the time that Logan needs to go back here in Canada.
I actually did have a layover in Shanghai, China, on the way there and on the way home. So did stop in China. I had been to China for a few hours.
Yeah, so that was November. And then
Yeah, I got home, and probably within a month I decided I was gonna go find another ticket online and head back to the Philippines. Couldn't stand being away from her, so
hey,
headed back.
sana.
But of course, in that time, the pandemic struck middle of January, and the whole world was kind of going into fear mode and not knowing what was going to happen. So during that time, Joy actually was sponsored by her husband, Corey, to come to Canada, and she had just landed the end of January, right after a volcano had erupted in...
Yeah, Taal volcano in the Philippines.
So that was kind of scary. They canceled a bunch of flights coming out of Manila, and wasn't sure if she was going to be able to fly. And then she actually missed her flight because she was too late getting to the airport. So they had to rebook another flight, and yeah, eventually she made it to Canada, where it was very, very cold when she landed in January. And then I actually landed in the Philippines February 1st of 2020.
Yeah, so that
a
is
couple
your
weeks.
second visit.
Yeah, just a couple weeks after the pandemic was in the news, and half the people were already wearing masks on the plane and weren't really sure what was going on. And then
Yeah, but then that time, that is when, because actually I took the board exam, and then that time, January was when I took the board exam. Then after the board exam, I decided to go back to my hometown, which is Cagayan de Oro City. So that time, Logan decided to like fly from Canada, then Shanghai, right?
no, that the second
The
time
second? Is
I
it
flew
direct?
from Toronto to Manila.
Okay, so it's direct flight, Toronto to Manila, and then Manila to Cagayan de Oro, because I went back home after the board exam, and also after after I passed the board exam also. So you came back February
1st.
Yeah, February 1st. But then that time, that second visit, so I was like, of course, in the Philippines, like if you're dating a foreigner and then you're a Filipina, if the guy will go back the second time to meet you, not another girl, that means that guy is serious in pursuing you, and that guy wants to marry you. So I was like, okay, maybe this time he wants to come back. And then I was like, okay, maybe it's so sure, so I think it's about time for him to meet my family, because I don't want him to meet my family on our first date, of course, because we never know, maybe he will not come back. So he decided to come back, so I don't want to be embarrassed to my family, or maybe they get used, like they get to know him, and then later on they were like, oh, what happened to him? Like, I don't know, it didn't work out. So he came back. So that's the time that Logan will finally meet my family. And then, but before that, I have to make sure first that he's really serious about me. So I was like, oh, maybe we'll go first to Camiguin before I have to bring him to my family. So we stayed,
Took the taxi right from the airport.
yeah, right when he landed at Laguindingan International Airport. That's the airport if you want to go to Cagayan de Oro City. So we took the taxi from Laguindingan to Balingasag Port. That is where if you want to take a ferry from Mindanao to Camiguin. And then yeah, we stayed for like maybe more than 2 weeks.
And on that taxi drive to the boat port, we did have to stop at Jollibee for some food. I was getting hungry after that
Oh, yeah,
long plane flight.
Oh yeah, because that is straight, right?
Yep.
Manila, then Cagayan, and then we have to go to, I guess from Laguindingan to Balingwan at maybe 2 hours or 3 hours.
Yeah, it might have been even more than that.
Yeah, but
Closer to
in
4, but
port, but then we have to go to
oh yeah.
Camiguin. So that's like maybe 45 to 1.5 hours. I'm not sure, I forgot. And then we stayed at Camiguin, and for like more than 2 weeks.
Yeah, around 2 weeks.
Yeah. And then of course we visited tourist spots in Camiguin. Of course,
Visited
motor
visited
driving.
your friends.
Yeah, my best
Stephanie.
friends living there also. And then of course we rented motorbike, a motor. They call it bike, but we call it motor in the Philippines. So we rented for our whole stay, and then of course we just driving around the whole island.
Going through the mountains.
Yeah, mountains, beaches,
Lots of waterfalls.
yeah, of course. And
Climbed a couple mountains, volcanoes.
yeah, and then I didn't know that he already has plans. So that is when,
Got a permit for February
yeah,
14th
permit.
to climb Habak.
Hibok
Mountain.
month. No, how do you say that?
Habak.
Yeah, hibok. So that's like, it's an active, yeah, right?
I don't think it's active.
It's not active anymore. Yeah, so it's a volcano, but they call it Mount Hibok in Camiguin. So before you can go there, you have to like ask for permit, and then have someone like a guide if you climb up there, because I guess you're not allowed. You have a penalty if you just go there by yourself without having a permit.
Mhm.
Yeah, so that is February 14, Valentine's Day. Sana
I think it was what, like a 4 or 5 hour
climb.
climb to the top.
Yeah,
Something like that.
yeah, because we started 6 in the morning. Then we got there like, oh yeah, I think it's
Around
like 6. Yeah.
11 or 12. Yeah, it was quite the climb, and it was very foggy. You couldn't see too much when you got to the
Yeah.
top, but Eve kept saying, "Oh, we should turn around. I'm getting tired," but I kept encouraging her that it would be worth it when we got up there. And
Yeah, because it's so
there'd
slippery.
be such a great view. But
It's so slippery and it's hard to climb on. So I was like, oh, and then we have like few water with us, and I was like, oh, I cannot make it. I'm too tired. Can we just go back? Like, just we're done here. And it's like, oh, it will be worth it. I was like, no, it's not. I'm tired. And it's like, it will be worth it, I promise. But he really has a plan. That's when he proposed. Like when we're at the crater.
yeah, there was our tour guide. I handed him my phone. I asked him to take a few pictures, and we went in front of a kind of a pond where the crater was, and I got down on one knee and
Yeah.
proposed to her, and the tour guide had no idea I was going to do that, so I surprised him too.
Yeah, the tour guide, and then he was just like, cause he said take a couple pictures. So after when Logan proposed to me, I was like, oh, is it like real, for real? So I was like, oh, maybe this is really what he's saying, that it will be worth it. But then after that, we kept on telling. I was like, why you didn't ask the tour guide? Why you didn't inform the tour guide? Because we only have like pictures during the proposal. It would be nice to get reactions if it's a video. But then the tour guide mentioned to me, it's like, oh, I am not aware about that too. I am surprised too. I should have took the video instead of photos.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then of course, like what I told you.
Then we had to climb back down.
Yeah.
Another 4 or 5 hours back down.
Yeah, but I am not tired anymore. I was like, okay, I got the reward. Just kidding. Yeah, so when Logan proposed to me, that's when I was like, okay, I am more confident that I am really bringing him to my family. So that's when we went back home, cause my parents decided to celebrate the Thanksgiving because I passed the board exam for architect. So that's when they made a celebration. We call it Thanksgiving. So we have to go back home to celebrate that. Of course, they can celebrate without me. And then the next day, that's when my mom's birthday too. So right when we actually, it's funny because right when we got back home, and then right when we just got off from the shuttle bus, that's when my father was already drunk with his friends, and then it's like, hey Joe.
Celebrating early.
Yeah, so it's like, hey Joe. So in the Philippines, if you're a foreigner, they will just call you Joe, no matter what your nationality.
Yeah, American or Canadian.
And then right when so I told you, like, Logan, if you I already informed him that if you meet my family or my other relatives, yeah, just have to like do the bless. So in the Philippines we do that. So you just have to like, let's show them what you do it. So like for example, I am Logan, and then my family or my aunt, my uncle, my mother, you just have to do like that. Or my grandma. Should be you do that if that person is older than you.
Form of respect.
Yeah, that's our form of respect. And then that's when Logan like blessed to my dad, and then right after that they were like, oh, have some drink. Yeah, so Logan had some drink with my dad and the friend too, but I just told him, I was like, no, he doesn't drink too much, just one is enough. Because I'm scared that Logan will be drunk and then my father's drunk, so I don't want to give that bad impression. Yeah, so after that, yeah, so we stayed like maybe 2 days. Yeah, 17 and 18 with my family, and then I have to go to Cagayan de Oro. Of course, I don't want to leave Logan there alone, so we went back to Cagayan de Oro to process my membership, my architect membership. And then, yeah, I don't know, it was just...
Well, I asked your parents.
Oh, yeah, so during my mom's birthday.
Yeah.
18?
Yeah, and then I asked both your parents if I could have their blessing to marry their youngest daughter.
But then that was that time my father just like, he was drunk and then just woke up after a nap, so he was just like, okay. He was just saying,
that's time to ask.
Okay. That's time to ask. Yeah, so my dad was just like, okay. I don't know, it's just funny. Yeah, so of course after that was February 18 when Logan asked for my hand to my parents, and then they said okay. And then March, like the next month, that's when my father died. So just like perfect time for you to ask my hand.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's pretty crazy how quickly it went after asking you.
Yeah.
Or asking for your hand in marriage.
At least he was able to meet Logan before he died.
Mm-hmm.
And what else? Yeah, so Logan then went back home. Then we continued talking.
I planned on going back in June to
that's what
actually
you
have
promised.
the wedding in the Philippines, and of course COVID happened and the lockdowns happened, and pretty much all the countries around the world
was scared.
Closed the borders, and you couldn't go anywhere. And
yeah, so that's when you can actually look online if what countries are accepting what nationality, and then that's when we look up that because that was like December. So pandemic started actually in December from where it started, but then on news it was everywhere around January. So Logan got to the Philippines February, and then March, April, May, June. So we're like, okay, June, that's the plan that we're gonna marry, but then it's not going to happen. Then later on, like end of that year, 2020, we're like, I don't know, we're losing hope if we're already engaged, but we're losing hope if we're still gonna get married. So we look up online if what's the solution, because he can't come to the Philippines because Philippines won't allow foreigner to enter, not unless if he's a Filipino but he's not, or not unless we're already married, because they will allow foreigner to enter to the Philippines if you're married to a Filipina. But then that time we're just engaged, so they won't let you go to the Philippines. That's when we found out that there's another way. There's no fiancé visa, but then they do. Our option was to
allow a Filipino or any foreigner.
yeah, you can do the tourist visa, but then not sure if when you apply they will approve your visa application. So our only solution was to do the
International
yeah
student.
study here in Canada. So we applied around actually December. We processed everything, and then around January we completed all the documents that we need, and then February I took some medical. Okay, to continue. Oh, wait.
All right.
To continue, sorry.
Got another
Our baby
interviewer
just
here
yeah.
to join us.
She just woke up, so we don't want her to cry while we're recording. So to continue, so we applied. Yeah, February I went back. I went to Cebu to have my medical. And yeah, so do the medical, and then March, I guess that's when I submitted my application for the study permit, and then it took like 29 days to be
Yeah,
approved.
it was getting pretty close timing to when she actually needed to get here. We weren't sure if it was going to be approved in time, but everything worked out very nicely. So
Yeah, we plan it like we have to think what program to take, because you have to also prove that why you're taking that program. So it should be related to your degree in when you're in the Philippines.
yeah, so Loyalist College, which is only about a 25-minute drive from where we live, accepted her, so it worked out nicely. But funny thing is, it was all remote. She never actually set foot in the college, so realistically, she could have done the whole program from the Philippines. But
Yeah,
luckily, she was able to come to Canada.
we're so scared because I was like, oh, maybe they will question like, why do you have to come here if it's remote? You can do it at home. But then I was really prepared, so it's like if ever they were gonna ask me, I will like say we have time difference. Hello. So if the class will start here morning, then in the Philippines it's evening, so it's not really easy. So
yeah.
that's one thing that I am ready to prepare if they were gonna ask me. And then yeah, so after that we book a flight to come here because my program starts May. So you cannot also come here early than your like the first day of your school. So I got here April 2.
Second, yeah.
Yeah, April 2. I left Philippines April 1 and then got here April 2. And of course, that was during pandemic, so I have to make a quarantine plan. That is, I have to do 14 days quarantine. But then when I got here, they have to do swab test even if you're negative when you got here, and even you also have to do your swab test before your flight. Make sure it's negative so that they will allow you to fly. Then when you got at the airport, you have to take the test, and then even if it's negative, you still have to do the 14 days quarantine. Of course, 14 days, it's not easy, of course, because you are like, oh, I really want to meet him. For being so far for maybe Yeah, a year. More than a year.
Yeah.
Yeah, so what did you do when I was in quarantine?
Yeah, after work, a couple times I'd go to her hotel and sit outside in the parking lot and look up at her window, and we'd do a phone call and talk
Yeah.
to each other
So I was
through the
on,
window.
yeah, I was on the big window just staring at him at, like, I was maybe third floor. I guess I was on third floor and then just on the parking. So it's like we're talking. I was on call, so we're just like talking to each other. But then one time when I was on quarantine, you decided to
Get some
bring me food.
Kentucky Fried Chicken. I bought her a big meal. Got to the front counter. I said, "Oh, I've got a delivery for Eve," and they pretty much told me because I wasn't a certified delivery company, I couldn't actually drop it off. So I ended up calling Corey and Joy, who were close by, and they came and ate the rest of the chicken I had in the bag and wait in the parking lot. And then I ordered some online, and somebody else delivered it.
Should be delivery company. You're not a company.
Yeah.
Yeah, so and also during that time Logan was trying to process to get marriage license for us to get married in Canada. So I got all the documents with me. So he also asked if he can just I can just drop the documents outside my door and then they will pick it up to bring downstairs for him. But then they're like, no, you can't do that because I don't know, germs, there might be virus in the documents. Yeah, so Logan, our plan was to get married on my birthday because I got here April 2 and then got married on April 8 and 19. But then Logan, we cannot make it because I was still in quarantine, so the documents.
And town hall was
On
only
time.
open one day a week, so by the time she got out, she was able to sign stuff. It was pretty much past the her birthday, April 19th. So we did the following week and did it on April 26th. We had a nice little wedding in my parents' backyard.
Yeah, and then just limited people because you're not allowed to like get married with more than, I don't know, a month. There's like a limit number of person to be on the wedding.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just intimate wedding with his family, and then we did live. We did live, yeah, Facebook live, so that my family back home can also watch. But that is like around 3 in the morning, but they have to wake up because that's their only way to witness our wedding.
And it is available on our YouTube channel if you wanted to watch our
Yeah. Check it out.
Yeah.
And then yeah, so after that, during the wedding, we went couple places before my class starts. Is it bright? Yeah, so we went somewhere here in Canada, and then I started my class like May, and then life continues on. And then after that, what was that? Oh yeah. So we went camping with Corey and Joy, our Cupid. So, because they live like 15 minutes away from here.
10 minutes. Yep.
Yeah, 10 minutes away. And then we went camping with them. And then suddenly I got a message from an HR from the company I am working now. So they messaged me telling that they found my profile on LinkedIn, and then that my skills is suitable for the position that they're looking for. So they're like, if I am interested, I call them, and then they will schedule an interview and then a test if I can be good enough for that position. And then luckily I got hired.
Mm-hmm.
So, and also that was during pandemic, so they will just send all the equipments, computers, so I can start working. Yeah. So luckily that work is supposed to be like 3 hours. Yeah, 3 hours away from here, but then it was work from home that time, so that's great. So of course I am happy that I got the job, because if you're an international student here in Canada, you can actually work 20 hours per week. I'm not sure today if they change it, because there is a lot of changes if you want to come here in Canada, especially also with the the amount of money that you have to prepare. I'm not sure if there's a limit, but during my time, I can work 20 hours per week. So I told that company who wants to hire me if is it okay if I would just work part-time, and then if ever I'd be able to finish my college and got my post-graduation work permit, then I will gonna work full-time with them. So I work part-time until so my program ends December, so I work part-time with them while I am a full-time student. And then I applied right away for post-graduation work permit, and they gave me like 1 year PGWP. So if you're 1 year student visa holder, if your program is 1 year, then they will give you 1 year post graduation work permit. But then if your program is 2 years, then they will give you 3 years.
Right.
So I got 1 year, but then during that time we also process our. So after I got my PGWP, I started working full time, and then of course we're married, so got pregnant. Yeah, so this is not our first baby. This is our second baby, Bella. So I got pregnant around when was that? July? August? No, I was pregnant August, and then I gave birth May 2022. So I gave birth to our first baby named Jasmine on May 2022. So it was not easy.
No.
Yeah, so we're not sure that we will be able to go to the hospital with our situation. So we decided, actually it is Logan's idea that you want to what?
Oh, have a home water birth and
We
kind of do
had.
it more naturally at home. But after a couple days of contractions and pushing, and Eve's energy just depleted so far that she just didn't have it in her to try and have the birth at home. So we ended up finally deciding, let's go to the hospital.
I was begging for it actually.
Let's
I
go.
was like, can you just bring me to the hospital? So we're not sure if they will like accept me, because actually we booked for midwife, but then because that's what common also here in Canada, you find a midwife nearby, but then that time they told us that we're on the wait list, so our last option was to go to the hospital. And then that was like 3 days after I started my contraction, so that time I was like, that's it, we're not having another baby. Once I'm done with this one, we're done. Yeah, so Jasmine was born.
Yeah, so finally she had an epidural at the hospital and was able to get a bit of sleep and get a little energy back before she started pushing. And it wasn't long after that the baby came out and Jasmine was here.
Mm-hmm. And another good thing about that is I was still not a permanent resident that time, so I don't have my health card, so that you have a free.
So luckily
hospital.
She had health insurance through her college
Study
course.
permit,
So
yeah.
she got lucky that way.
So we didn't pay extra also, but you have to pay extra if you want to extend another day, or if you want a private room.
Right.
Yeah. So we didn't pay even $1. And then I took 4 months maternity leave, but the funny thing about that is I was not like, I don't have any idea of how does that work here, especially that I'm not permanent resident that time, so I'm not sure if I have to like apply for maternity leave even if I am just a post graduation work permit holder. But then after we got back home from giving birth,
So we started building this kitchen dining room
where we are
addition where we actually are sitting right now. We didn't have quite enough room in their apartment where we're actually in my parents' basement. So they kind of we're doing the dishes in the bathroom sink and had a little countertop stove for doing cooking, but wasn't quite enough room for what we needed. So eventually we built this 10-foot by 20-foot add-on, and it's served us well. So now we can actually do dishes in an actual kitchen sink. So yeah.
Because we're starting to have a family, so we need room. Because that time I like it's good enough for like 2 people to sit on for you to eat your meal. And then yeah, so I finished my college, then I got my work permit, and then
And I actually stopped working November of 2021 as a framing carpenter because I got to the point where my back was giving me so much issues and pain trying to work that I just couldn't do it anymore. So I ended up quitting that job and kind of took the winter off. And eventually, when the baby came along, I was helping with that quite a bit.
yeah. So time comes that I have to, like May 2022, I have to give birth to our firstborn. So Logan, that was still pandemic, because pandemic still continues. So that is when I informed my employer that I am taking the maternity leave for 4 months. So I was like, okay, maybe that would be good enough, since Logan decided to just take his time off. So I have a help too.
I told her she should take at least 6 months, but she insisted that she only needed 4. But by the time she had to go back to work, she kind of thought I was right there and should have taken more time. But
Yeah, I guess I felt guilty too, because in the Philippines, they will only give you like 3 weeks. That's the maximum. But here in Canada, you're allowed to take 12 to 18 months maternity leave. But then I was like, oh, I feel guilty because we have lots of work too. So I was like, okay, I'll just go for 4 weeks. But then I
Yeah,
should
so-
have take 1 year.
for Isabella, she's actually taken 12 months off, so she'll be off till the end of August.
Yeah, August, yeah. And then yeah, so after I gave birth to Jasmine, that's when I started working full time from the same company that I'm working with. And then yeah, so you started also working with your
Yeah, I sold my car and got a pickup truck, and then started working with my cousin doing metal roofing installation, and did that for the summer. And then winter came around, and again my back kind of starts giving me more issues in the winter when it gets really cold. So I ended up quitting in November, and yeah, I was kind of slowly working on my parents' renovations on their kitchen and painting, stuff like that. So
we're busy. That's why we were gone. Yeah, so and then yeah, life goes on. I continued working while watching Jasmine full time. So I'm working full time as I'm also full time mom. But it's still not that hard, because that during that time your baby just wants to be hold, and then you just put her on the mama roll, or you exercise her, or go to sleep, or the floor if you crawl around. So it works for me. And then I guess we found out, so we
December.
found out, actually that was January when we found out that I was pregnant. We made Bella during Christmas time. It's really Christmas time.
Yeah, so then we decided to take a trip to the Philippines, since Eve hadn't seen her family for over 2 years. So
Yeah.
did that last April, May.
Yeah.
Check out her other video if you haven't seen that yet.
Yeah, so that trip, I thought it would just be easy, but then, because the time we booked it, that was like, I was still maybe 1 month pregnant when we booked the ticket.
Mm.
And then during the trip, I was already like 4 and 5 months. So it's not easy, especially with the less than 11 months baby, our firstborn. So I was pregnant with Jasmine 4 or 5 months, then we have our baby. Maybe around
Isabella,
11 months.
Pregnant with Isabella. 4 or 5 months.
Isabella, 5 months. When I was pregnant with her, well, we have Jasmine 11 months that time. So they're really close.
Yeah, bringing a
We're really busy.
A 1-year-old on a plane was.
It's not hard.
It wasn't hard, but
She's behaved.
luckily we had a seat next to us that was free, so we had a little more room on the way to the Philippines. But then on the way back to Canada, we actually had a third person there, so it was a little tight on the way back home.
Cause Jasmine, she's 11 months that time, so she can stay on the bassinet on the airplane, because there's like a limit of weight for the baby, so she can't be on the bassinet, so we have to put her in our lap or have extra seat. But then that was during pandemic time, so the price of the tickets like double, triple. Yeah, so
yeah, it was only about $1,000 for me to fly to the Philippines
back and forth.
The first 2 times, and then when we went last year, it was probably about triple.
Yeah.
Around a little over $3,000 for one ticket.
And also we book direct flight because we have baby. And then yeah, when we got back home, life continues. I went back to work. Good thing the company I'm working with, they allow me to take 4 weeks off instead of just 2 weeks. But then I told them that I want to meet my family, so yeah, they allowed me. And then we got back here, and then I gave birth to Bella. Of course, that's the exciting part. And then I was like, I thought it will be the same with Jasmine, but then it took only like less than a day that since I have my contraction, then got Bella. And of course, while I was on my post-graduation work permit, we applied for spousal visa application. Spousal sponsorship. So we got approved for around maybe 8 months of waiting, and now I am a permanent resident here also. And also we applied for my mom to come here in Canada. So she got approved because I want her to meet my
new baby
because she already met Jazzy, so we want her to meet Bella, as well as she will also be retiring, so I want her to enjoy her retirement. And she got approved, so we apply for my brother because she's scared to fly by herself. So luckily my brother's visa was approved too. So check out our video with that one. We got a video of how we apply for their tourist visa. And then, what happened next, Logan?
Isabella was born September 11th.
Yeah.
2023.
Say hi? Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Well, it was actually just recently, New Year's Eve 2023, that Corey and Joy were actually over, and we started talking about people making YouTube videos, YouTube channels, and we decided, let's do it. Eve already started a channel a few years back, and then kind of had a pause for a few years, and we decided we should start it back up and try making videos.
Yeah, I guess I started doing videos like maybe when we started talking, like right after we started talking, 2020. So our videos are my videos there, like about our how we met, and then I just stopped doing it because I got busy here in Canada, my life here in Canada, and now
school, work,
babies. So now we want to do it as a family, right, Bella? So right now we're doing it while Jasmine is sleeping. So
it's a little quieter.
It's fun.
Okay. Thanks for watching.
Yeah, please continue to support us.
See you on the next one.
Yeah. We love you. Bye.